Guys, one of our theories about the Upside Down is going to be true in the volume 2 of Stranger Things season 5, and I'm so happy about this. And we actually have some evidence of this thing in the trailer of volume 2. And the fact that the reviewers have also said that volume 2 is going to answer almost all of the questions about the Upside Down. Now that is where I think our theory will come into play, and I really can't wait to really experience that. So we are going to go over each and every detail about it. Please stick around till the end of the video because this is going to be very interesting. So the trailer starts off with a scene from Maxie. Now this scene is obviously just moments after whatever we saw at the end of volume number 1 episode number 4. So this is just moments after. Now as always we'll focus on what the characters were saying, what the voiceovers were, and here we have a voiceover from Will and he says, "We failed, we never stood a chance." And here Joyce replies, "This is not over, not by a long shot." So of course it's just Joyce being Joyce and just Joyce consoling his kid, and we can even see that they are back in Hopper's cabin. Now this might be a little difficult to digest, but this is the first time that Mike Wheeler has gone into the Upside Down. Yes, this is his first time, but who are with him? Now because of these canvas we can obviously say that this is Robin, because who else? And then this is a little tricky, but because of this ring and because of that classic blue hairband which is now a bracelet kind of a situation, it is definitely 11. So the next scene we have is of Max and Holly. Now we have a lot of scenes of Max and Holly together hopping between different memories, and this memory could be the house of Alice, like maybe they are breaking into Henry's house once again. But for what it's worth, I can clearly say that we have one episode called as Escape from Camazotz, and that episode is going to be entirely focused on how Max and Holly might try and escape the mind situation of Vecna, the mind layer of Vecna, the mind prison of Vecna, and all of the scenes that we see of Max and Holly in this trailer are going to be about their escape from Camazotz. Next up we see, now we have seen this scene a lot of times, and there are a few scenes now that we are going to see that we have already seen multiple times, and this is one of those scenes. Now at the end of volume 1 we got to understand that Hawkins lab is at the center of the entire Upside Down. Whatever the wall this is that is guarding the Upside Down, at the center of it is the Hawkins lab, and this is the Hawkins lab, and of course they have gone there to visit the Hawkins lab, and we are going to see some epic shit in there. We'll talk about it when it comes. Again, pretty determined to get in there. Now they are in there, and here we have another voiceover here, and this time Dustin says, and it is a very interesting thing, whatever we have known about the Upside Down, it has all been dead wrong. Now this makes us believe that it is not Dustin only talking about his own situation, but it is also the Duffer Brothers speaking to us fans, that guys, whatever theories that you have cooked up about the Upside Down, you cannot be even close, because we have not let any information out which explains what the Upside Down really is. Get ready for more surprises about the Upside Down. But anyways, this is where Dustin kind of feels, okay, we don't know shit about the Upside Down here. Again, we have Max and Holly, they are staring at a door, and I think this door or whatever the window that we saw earlier, these all are gateways to a different memory of Henry maybe, or whatever Holly's plan is to escape the Camazotz. They are just working on it, and this door is again a part of that. Of course, we see them going through the door as well. This is where my eyes were peeled. I couldn't believe that they really showed this. Whatever Dustin and Steve are looking at is this thing. What the hell is this? Now, we can't really say what the hell is this, but we can assume what this is going to do. We'll talk about that later, but right now, I want you to focus on whatever we have here. So this is that bowl of energy. We'll just call it the bowl of energy here. So this is the bowl of energy, but just focus here. Everything here feels like it is melting. Or not even melting, it looks like candlestick melting. It really feels like that, and we see this multiple times in the trailer, and I can't believe we ignored this in one of the previous trailers as well, because we have seen this. And another thing that has intrigued me is that none of the vines are getting close to it. None of the vines are getting close to it. It feels like that the vines are actually scared of this ball of energy. Next up, we see 11 back in the real world now. So at the end of season 4, she was stuck in the Upside Down. She and Hopper, they both took down the Hawkins lab which was in the Upside Down. They took on Dr. K, and they found out number 8. Now of course they must have come out of the Upside Down without finding Dustin and the whole group. So this could be 11 trying to find Dustin and the other gang. And I do believe this scene is just moments after 008 was freed by 11, where 11 is asking Kali's help, and she's saying, help me find him and help me kill him. And of course she's going to help 11 put an end to this, whatever this horrible thing is going on. Now by the looks of it, it feels like Mr. Watts has figured out that Holly and Max are conspiring against him, and therefore he has this this look, whatever you want to call this look. He has this look here. Coming back to the Hawkins lab, now we have seen this scene countless number of times. We have seen this scene in almost every trailer that we have seen for Stranger Things 5, and again we have Steve and John, and again we have Jonathan and Nancy looking at this ball. But now we know what this ball is. This ball is a ball of lightning, which we again established earlier, but I want to talk about this scene for a moment here. Behind Jonathan and Nancy, we can see this again, this melting situation is going on. This melting situation is going on. Now again, we don't see any vines here. It almost feels like again that the vines are actually scared of whatever the situation is going on with this ball of light, is this ball of energy. Anyways, they're terrified looking at this ball, and everyone, of course, they'll be terrified. Now again, this is a different angle here, and we can just see how big that is and what scope this is. This is huge. This is huge, and if you look all around here, everything is in that melting situation. We are seeing Nancy and Steve, Nancy and Jonathan, and here if you see in this cavity here, this cavity goes down and this cavity connects to this scene where Dustin and Steve are looking upwards. They are looking at this ball. Now if you look closely at this, there are a lot of things that we can talk about here, but all are assumptions. Okay, I have not thought about this as of now, but these are all assumptions. Could be the mind flare, because you know all these are all the dust particles here. And what do we associate the dust particles with? We associate the dust particles with the mind flare. Could be this, don't know. I'll have to think about this. I'll come up with a new video in a couple of days. Next scene, we have the Maxie again. Our bald eagle, our new Santa Claus is back. Murray Bauman is alive. A lot of people are worried that Murray Bauman might have died, but no. He survived with a few scratches on his forehead. He survived. But they're trying to do something really crazy here, because Murray is driving his Bradley's truck, and in that truck there are all of our kids, and I think so that they are trying to get back into the Upside Down, and the only gate that is open that will get them into the Upside Down is obviously the gate at Maxie, and that Maxie gate is again going to be guarded by the military. Here we have Dr. K, we have the military around here, and who is taking on the military? It is the most badass person, Nancy Wheeler. Nancy, wow, this scene was so cool. Such a cool shot, and I really love how they are portraying Nancy here. She was always that badass right from season number 1. She was always that badass, but just to even think that she is the only one that is taking on the military here. Like, yeah, it looks like she's the only one that is taking on the military. That is nuts even for Nancy here. Anyways, in the next scene we can see the inside of the truck. We can see a very terrified looking Maya Hawke. Then we have Dustin in his military attire, which we have seen him. Then again we have Lucas in his military attire, and this kid over here, it feels like because of this pinkish sweater, it looks like we have Erica here. Or part of me also thinks it could be Will, not quite sure. Another one of those scenes where Holly and Max are trying to escape the mind layer, the mind prison of Vecna. They are terrified looking at perhaps Vecna again. Now this is very interesting, okay? So we know that one Demogorgon or a bunch of Demogorgons attack the Hawkins Hive, but we don't know why. And I think we can now assume that the Demogorgons are after Max's body. Now this is how I could explain this. In the mind, whatever the mind situation is, Vecna has understood that it is Holly and it is Max who are conspiring against him, who are trying to break free from his mind layer, and therefore to attack Max's real body, he has sent his demos to the real world Hawkins to finish the body of Max. If her body is no more, maybe she is completely trapped in the prison world, or whatever the logic might be there. Now the way this scene pans out is pretty interesting, okay? We just see the hands of the demo, and then we cut to Vicky. This is Vicky's first time that she's seeing at any kind of demo situation here, but what we see behind her is interesting, because we see a military man. Why? I have a lot of questions. Why we see this military guy? And we have Robin talking to her. In the next scene we see Will again, turning his eyes wide, maybe tapping back into the hive mind, trying to grab powers of Vecna once again. And we can even see how Mike and Robin are actually terrified here. They're actually terrified. But the important question, what is Will doing here? I think he's trying to spy back into the hive mind. I think he's trying to spy back into Vecna's mind. I think he's trying to do that. Now this seems to be the same truck that Murray was driving, and where he was leading all our gang into the Upside Down through the Maxie, and we can even see Steve at the back here. Again we have the same Demogorgon. Now this Demogorgon is again the one which is attacking the hospital, because we have seen countless number of times this scene again, where we have Lucas trying to protect the body of Max, and we have a Demogorgon who is chasing them. We also see Vicky here, and with Vicky we can also see Robin here, and we have also seen this scene plenty of other times in some of the other trailers where we clearly see that one Demogorgon is after Max's body and Lucas, and there is no saving them. Now let's come back to the group of the Hawkins lab in the Upside Down. This is again the Hawkins lab. We can see Steve and Dustin. Now again we have this melting kind of situation. Now when I see at this specific thing here, you can see that this is a red and this is white. Even here we have this red and white. Might feel like blood, and the way that this thing is melted or this thing is opened, it kind of feels like a gate was opened here. You know, the Demogorgons are creating these gates, mini gates, micro-sized gates. Feels like that, but again it just feels like something is melting from inside there. But how? What is causing this melting? What is causing this melting? No idea. And this is the reunion of the gang of Dustin and the gang of Mike. They are in the Upside Down. We can see he's hugging here. And I missed a screenshot actually, but in that screenshot we could also see at this place we can also see Eleven. So that again establishes that Eleven is with Mike in the Upside Down. Now they have found Dustin and the other gang. Again, another one of those scenes which we have seen a lot of times in all of these trailers. We still have no clue about it. We do know that someone is falling here. But I think once again, maybe I have something that to add on this, because just look at the top here. This time we can clearly see the top here, and this top it feels like it is cracking up. Now guys, I have a little theory about this, but I'm not quite confident about this theory, so I'm going to talk about this in a different video which should come out tomorrow. But I can tell you this, that this scene is connected or maybe connected to these two scenes. Maybe I'll just leave you at that. If you have something to add, please let me know in the comments, but we'll talk about this scene in a different video. Moving on to the next scene is again this demo attack in the Hawkins hospital. Again, as I said, the Demogorgon is not here for Vicky, because the Demogorgon runs past Vicky and goes towards Robin. But this demo is not the only one, because we have two more demos. How in the world are they going to come out alive? I am pretty scared for Vicky, Robin, Lucas and Max. Now this scene was so good. Again, my eyes were peeled, because this is wow. What crazy direction, what crazy writing, what crazy performance, what crazy execution this is. And then his transformation into Vecna. Oh boy, oh boy. And every time now I see Vecna saying it's time, I crack up. I really crack up. And while editing this footage, I'm going to crack up, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to burst into laughter a lot of more times. Since season number 4 he's been saying this. Season number 4 came in 2022. It's time, Max, it's time, Max. And now again, it's time. But this time he says what he wants to say. He says it's time for a new world, and we all know what his mission is, by the way. Now again, coming back to the ball of light. So in one of the previous video I talked about that this ball of light bursts, and then this energy travels through the entire Upside Down Hawkins, and while doing so it converts itself into a blue light. So from red it converts it into blue. If you look at it, it still feels like it is the Upside Down, and it feels like that this is again the library of the Upside Down. But anyway, this wave of energy just goes, and we can see Hopper here, and Hopper is at the boundary of the wall that we have talked about in the first volume. This wall is struck by this wave of energy, and this is where our theory comes into play. But just hold on a bit more, because we'll talk about this theory at the end of this video. But let's first break down the entire trailer, and then we'll talk about this theory. Now this might be the new Upside Down Hawkins lab, which is run by Dr. K, where we can clearly see it is 008 trying to take out this soldier. Now I looked at this scene and I was confused that where this scene must be taking place, because we see a lot of washing machines here, and all of those washing machines are getting blasted. No idea what this location is. But Robin here is doing a very interesting thing. She is using this power stat. This power stat is obviously to control the power, and she gets the current, she gets the power to the maximum value to torture this Demogorgon. You die, I die. What the hell, Steve? And okay, by the way, this is the real world. This is not the Upside Down, okay? So this is the real world. You die, I die. Just don't even want to say what this is. You die, I die. Next. Now this scene is obviously of Jonathan and Nancy when they were at the top of the Hawkins lab, and when that ball of energy bursts, it throws these two into the air. Of course it will happen, but I hope they are alright. And this scene is going to be pretty interesting, okay? Because here Eleven goes on beast mode. She goes on beast mode, and it's just not 11. Here we can also see 008. Okay, so 8 and 11, they might have combined their powers, whatever the hell that they have done, but they have gone into beast mode. And with them we also have Hopper. Of course we have Hopper here. This is absolutely crazy, okay? A part of me thinks that this could be the wall of the Upside Down, this situation over here. But of course, we have to talk about this in a different video because, as I said, this scene is connected to these two other scenes. And finally, we see Vecna. Now this is the place where Holly and the other kids were kept here, and Will also painted this on this wall. So this is this exact place, and we can also see that Vecna has hooked himself up to all of these other vines. He must have taken their energies or their memories or their whatever. That's it. We end with the shot of Vecna, and that's it. Now, this was just the breakdown. Now let's talk about the Upside Down theory. So in the previous video, I kind of theorized that the Upside Down is a buffer world between the dimension X and our real world. Now I'm not going to explain what dimension X is once again because I have done that a lot of times. Please check out this video, I've explained it in there. So we have our world, we have the Upside Down, and then we have dimension X. And from volume 1 we know that the Upside Down is surrounded by a wall, this gooey fleshy wall, and at the center of this Upside Down we have the Hawkins lab. And what we have seen at the Hawkins lab here, we have seen that ball of light, that ball of energy bursts, and that bursted energy and that wave of energy strikes this Upside Down wall. And in the last video I told you to assume that what if outside of this wall is the dimension X. So what is Vecna's plan here? Vecna wants to create a new world, and how is he going to do that? He is going to do that by combining the Upside Down Hawkins and the dimension X. He wants the dimension X to fully take control of the Upside Down Hawkins, but somehow the Upside Down Hawkins had this wall, and now with this ball of energy he is finally able to break down that wall and finally connect the Upside Down Hawkins and dimension X. I know it might be a little confusing too. Let's sum up this pretty quickly. We have the Upside Down Hawkins. This Upside Down Hawkins is surrounded by a gooey fleshy wall, and outside of this wall we have the dimension X. Now at the center of the Upside Down Hawkins we have the Upside Down Hawkins lab, and at this lab we have this ball of energy, this ball of light, and this ball of light burst, and this wave of light goes through the entire Upside Down Hawkins, hits the wall, breaks down that wall, and finally connects the Upside Down Hawkins with the dimension X. Why? No idea, no clue, but this could be it. And basically this proves, or this gives a little bit of more credibility to the theory that we talked about in the previous video. Wow, this is going to be hell of a ride. So now tomorrow or day after tomorrow we are going to talk about two more things. Firstly, we are going to talk about this scene and how all of these three scenes could be connected, and we'll also talk about what this ball of energy is, what consists of this ball of energy. Is it only the mind flayer particles? It is only the dust particles, or what else is there? Do we have the energies of all the people Vecna has consumed? I'll definitely have to think about this more. Come back again tomorrow, day after tomorrow as well. And as always, please tell me in the comments what you think about this. Please share your theories. Please just create a conversation, and please share this video with each and every Stranger Things fan you know. That will help me a lot. Thank you so much for watching.